Hi, my name's Leonard Grant. I'm a professor of writing and a member of the Sister Mary Ann Cope Guild in Syracuse, New York. Thanks for coming to this virtual writing workshop. It's an honor to be with you today. Today, I'd like to tell you about a specific type of writing that I've been teaching to healthcare workers since 2021 during the pandemic. And this type of writing is called expressive writing. And it excels at helping us to process adverse events and to make meaning of the things that happen to us in life. It can be used as a narrative of your own life. It can even be a form of prayer. Today, what I'd like to share with you is 4 types of expressive writing that will help you in your career process adversities, latch on to the joyful moments of life, and hopefully have some inspiration. But first, let's have a meditation about language and our religion. The Gospel of John begins, "In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." We see from the very get-go that God creates things with language. We also see in the New Testament that language has tremendous healing power. Jesus works miracles through words. For instance, after the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus comes down, he's on his way to Capernaum, and he is faced by a Roman centurion who says that his servant is back home and is in very poor health. And Jesus beneficently offers to go to the centurion's house to heal the servant. And in reply, the Roman soldier says this, "Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only say the word, and my servant shall be healed." It is such an amazing miracle that we commemorate it with every celebration of the Mass. So let's talk about expressive writing. We learned in the 20th century that people who've endured atrocities have better health outcomes if they share some of the burden that they have with others. Those who do not disclose their adverse experiences have shorter lifespans and lower qualities of life, and they have fewer social connections as well. So James Pennebaker was well aware of this insight that people who have experienced traumas do better if they disclose them. However, not everybody's comfortable disclosing their traumas to other people. Some people have no social connections, or they feel a profound sense of mistrust. Well, Pennebaker wanted to test the idea that you could use writing to disclose the things that have happened to you. So in 1986, he published a study with his co-author, Sandra Beall, where he divided an undergraduate psychology class in half. And had half of the class write about a value-neutral subject. They wrote about their dorm room furniture. And the other half wrote about the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to them. Well, as you might guess, the people who wrote about the most traumatic thing were, in the short term, distressed by this. However, something amazing happened. In the following 6 months, those students who had written about their traumas made fewer trips to health services than the control group. And with those valuable insights about the healing power of words, psychology researchers were off to the races. Today, we have hundreds and hundreds of studies looking at the value of expressive writing for processing everything from traumatic experiences, of course, but also depression, anxiety, burnout among physicians. And on the physical side as well, there are studies that show that expressive writing during chemotherapy can actually expedite and improve the process. Expressive writing is excellent for Crohn's disease, Lyme's disease, and a host of other physical ailments. So with these types of mental and physical health benefits, having expressive writing in your healing repertoire is absolutely something that should be a go-to for you. So right now, what I'd like us to do is go get something to write with and come back. I'm going to give you the original writing prompt that James Pennebaker gave to his students. Here's our writing prompt. Choose an event that has affected you negatively. I would like you to write about it for 10 minutes without stopping. In your writing, I want you to discuss your deepest thoughts and feelings about the experience. You can write about anything you want, but whatever you choose, it should be something that has affected you. Ideally, it should be something you've not talked about with others in detail. It's critical that you let yourself go and touch those deepest emotions and thoughts. Write about what happened and how you feel about it now. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, or sentence structure. You may pause the video now to write. Well, how was that? 10 minutes. Did it fly by for you? One of the important parts of doing any expressive writing exercise is taking a moment afterward to collect yourself and to reflect on what you just wrote. Was the writing difficult? Well, why was it difficult? Was it surprising? Did you remember something you hadn't thought about before? Whatever it was that came up for you, take a moment and just relax with it. Remember, we don't write to erase difficulties, we write to move through them. When we put words to our stressors, we make them more manageable. We become the authors of our experiences. Let's turn our attention now to writing in prayer. The Catholic tradition is replete with holy men and women writing prayers. We can look to the Psalms as some of the earliest examples of written prayers, expressing everything from deep sorrow to profound joy. St. Augustine's Confessions are a long prayer. Think of all the holy men and women who used writing to increase their sanctity. St. Teresa of Avila gave us her interior castle. St. Therese of Lisieux gave us the little way. St. Francis de Sales converted 40,000 souls with his pamphlets. And Blessed Carlo Acutis let the entire internet know about Eucharistic miracles with his online writing. And even the venerable Takashi Nagai wrote to spread peace after the detonations of the atomic bombs on Japan. One study by Vanderkreek and colleagues found that spontaneously writing a prayer to God about a difficulty resulted in a similar personal benefit as writing about a trauma, like we did in the last prompt. Let's try it. Take a moment to reflect on a situation you are currently experiencing, whether it's a challenge, an opportunity, or something that occupies your thoughts. Write a spontaneous prayer to God about this situation. Let your words express your hopes, fears, desires, or gratitude. Focus on speaking from the heart and don't worry about structure or formality. If you're unsure how to begin, you can start with phrases like, help me to understand, give me the strength to, or guide me as I. Let's write for 10 minutes. You can pause the video now. So how'd it go? By writing prayers, we turn our worries into conversation with God. This can be a powerful tool for emotional and spiritual resilience. I don't know about you, but I get a tremendous feeling of peace when I write the word amen. Now let's consider a different type of expressive writing, writing about intensely positive experiences. We should thank God that the healing power of writing extends into the positive events we've experienced in our lives. Researchers Burton and King published 2 studies that asked undergraduate students to write about their most intensely positive experiences for 20 minutes a day for 3 days. They found that compared to the controls who wrote about neutral topics, students who wrote about intensely positive experiences made significantly fewer trips to health services in the following 3 months. They also had higher levels of global focus and enhanced positive moods. Now, who these days couldn't benefit from a little more focus or a brighter mood? Let's respond to this writing prompt. Think of the most wonderful experience or experiences in your life. Try to imagine yourself at that moment, including all the feelings and emotions associated with the experience. Now write about the experience in as much detail as possible, trying to include the feelings, thoughts, and emotions that were present at the time. Take 10 minutes. You may pause the video to write now. So how'd it go? Perhaps before you take that board exam or go on that next interview, you should write about something intensely positive. And that brings us to our final writing prompt of this video writing workshop. We're going to write about gratitude. St. Paul closes his first letter to the Thessalonians by encouraging them to rejoice always, pray without ceasing, and in all circumstances give thanks. This is the will of God for you in Christ Jesus. In our own day, scientific studies of gratitude have shown that St. Paul's advice is good medicine. Take just one study by Stephen Topher and colleagues as an example. Their study examined the effects of writing letters of gratitude on well-being, happiness, life satisfaction, and depression. They asked 219 men and women to write 3 gratitude letters over the course of 3 weeks. When compared to the controls who didn't write letters, the letter writers experienced increased happiness and life satisfaction and a decrease in depressive symptoms. Let's harness some of those benefits for ourselves and consider sending your letter. You may make someone's day a little brighter. Here's our writing prompt. Take 10 minutes to write a letter to someone in your life, perhaps a mentor, a classmate, or a family member, expressing gratitude for their support or some other gift they have given you. Tell them what their gift means to you. You may pause the video now to write. Wasn't that an uplifting experience? Spending 10 minutes concentrating on not only your gift, but on the beneficence of the giver who gave it to you. Not too long ago, a participant in one of my workshops delivered her letter to the tow truck driver who fixed her flat tire on the side of the highway during a blizzard. Hers was the first thank you letter he'd ever received. It's amazing what a few minutes of writing can do. Let's review what we've covered in this brief introduction to writing for self-care. Expressive writing is more than just putting words on a page. It's a tool for transformation. It helps us process stress, making the demands of medical training a little more manageable. It turns writing into prayer, deepening our relationship to God. It shifts our perspective, allowing us to heal emotionally, and it strengthens our connection to others, helping us to express gratitude and build relationships that sustain us. And here's something else to keep in mind. Expressive writing is one of the most accessible, low-risk self-care strategies available. You don't need a prescription. The only special equipment you need is already at your fingertips. Pen and paper, a laptop, even the Notes app on your phone. Research suggests that the best results come from writing for 15 to 20 minutes a day over 4 days on a single topic. But just one session can bring psychological and physical benefits. If you found this video writing workshop helpful, think about who else might benefit from it. Maybe a classmate who's feeling overwhelmed, a patient who's struggling with illness, a friend carrying a heavy burden. Feel free to share this video with them. Thank you for spending time with me. I pray that you continue to find strength, healing, and renewal in the words you write. May God bless you as you move forward in your studies, your vocation, and your mission to bring healing to the world.